In this video, I'm going to talk to you about behaviourism and cognitive psychology. Now, I'm going to be talking to you comparing these two fields of psychology as a layman, which means I'm not an expert. What is an expert? An expert is someone who's spent their lives, or at least a big part of their lives, studying, learning about a specific field of knowledge, or carrying out experiments and researching in a specific field of science or some other academic field. It doesn't mean someone who's an expert is correct, because different experts have different opinions and disagree, but it means that what I'm going to be telling you as a non-expert isn't strict definitions of cognitive psychology versus behaviourism. These are just my thoughts based on a few books I've read that talk about these two fields. So what is behaviourism? The idea that everything we do as humans, but also everything that animals do, is a reaction to something else. Some stimulus has happened, something has happened, a stimulus, and our behavior, what we do, is a reaction to that thing that happened. There's a very well-known example of experiments done, a dog being trained to associate the ring of a bell, ding, with food. So both things would be done at the same time. The dog would be given food and a bell would be rung. And after a while, these two things became associated, so that the dog, saliva would start to drip from the dog's mouth because it was expecting food to eat just when the bell rung, even if there wasn't any food. So the idea is that everything we do is happening at a subconscious level. The reason why we do this or do that is because there's some stimulus, something happening maybe outside our body, something we hear or see or smell, or also something inside our body. There's some event, biological event inside our body that acts as a stimulus that we react to. And all this is happening without our involvement, and our thoughts and our emotions are reactions. They're responses. We feel good simply because something has happened that we've learned to associate with feeling good. So we don't feel happy because we have positive thoughts, but the other way around. Positive thoughts are just a reaction to our feeling happy, which is because something else happened. It's a model of human behavior that says our thoughts aren't important to changing our behavior. Our thoughts are just reactions to the behavior that's already occurred. Different to that is cognitive psychology, which the word cognition already suggests that our thoughts, our cognition, plays a very important role in how we feel and what we do. That we can change the way we think, and because of that, because of different thoughts, we'll do different things and we'll feel different. A classic example of this may be the sort of thing you read in a lot of books about positive thinking or cognitive psychology, or it may be the sort of thing that you train if you go to see if you have cognitive behavioural therapy, I think it's called. You train the basic habit of thought of when something bad happens, or you're feeling bad because you feel like something bad has happened, something worth getting upset over, you can ask yourself the question, what is good about this? There's all these bad things, but maybe there's one or two or several good things. What's the possible good things about what happened? And because you're changing your thoughts to more positive thoughts, you start to focus on more positive things, and maybe that everything isn't so bad. Maybe this thing you thought was really bad maybe isn't so important or so bad. And so you start to feel better. And if you feel better, maybe what you do will be different. You'll take more action instead of sitting around being unhappy. So the idea of cognitive psychology is that there's a lot of power in our thoughts. Our thoughts are between what happens, the stimulus, and the response, what we do. But we have the power ourselves to change our thoughts, to change what we feel about what happens, what we think about what happens, and so to react differently. It's also very similar to the Stoic idea, the Stoic philosophy, that there's nothing really good or bad in the external world, but only how we think about what happens makes it good or bad. The fact that we have this opportunity to take control of our thoughts, to train ourselves so that we can consciously examine how we feel and what thoughts come up in response to something happening and change them, doesn't mean that that's the way it is by default. By default, a lot of people, a lot of us in life are on autopilot. Things are happening automatically, and also our thoughts are automatic. So something happens and we immediately feel upset or angry or unhappy, or like someone has done something bad to us and we have to feel angry and upset. So negative thoughts can be automatic responses to things happening within or outside our body. But we can change that. We can intervene. We can intervene and become conscious, use our consciousness to choose certain thoughts instead of other thoughts, to think what's positive instead of what's negative about what's happening to me. All right, that's the end of the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and if you want, you can support me on Patreon to help me make more videos. The link is in the description below. All right, see ya.